What's up, YouTube? This is HT, aka Higher Thinking, here to remind you to please stop at Dr. Claud Anderson's YouTube channel and watch his videos, right? Watch it unsnipped and unclipped and show some support, man. Stop at the comment section and just leave some roses because he deserves it, right? He's dedicated his entire life to being a warrior for a disenfranchised group of people, and that his work is not ending with him. That remind him that he's cultivated the next generation of warriors that's willing to continue the fight that he's left off on, right? So please stop by and show him some love, and in the meantime, enjoy this video.
We say nothing that we hopefully would be race-based. We try to simply tell the truth as we know it.
There you go. And that's exactly what I was talking about. Like a lot of people that's gonna watch his stuff may get triggered, right? And like, man, this dude seems to be he's black focused, black racist and all that stuff. Like, it's gonna be a whole lot of stuff you're gonna hear that might make you clench your pearls and stuff, right? But at the same time, what he's saying is just outright, just straight factual. So it's like it's not even the fact of him being pro-black, right? It's just him being completely honest, transparent about the about the situation of how bad it was for blacks throughout his life and in the past. He has you see he's going into scripture, so he's actually digging into things that predates black people's history in America.
And the rule in politics is anything that's for everybody is not for anybody. So whenever you hear anybody in politics and economics in our race-based society using very broad, ambiguous terms like minorities, poor folk, people of color, multicultural, diversity, they are using terms to make sure that nothing happens specifically and solely for black folk. They use those terms to keep black folk down and to keep them out. So anytime any politician in economic programs or policies or in political policies use those very broad, ambiguous terms without being specific about correcting the dilemmas of black folk in America, you're being sandbagged.
Yeah. So, and which is also a problem too. A lot of people like the idea of America doing things for the people in general, indiscriminately, right? We all like the idea of inclusion. We don't like things like gatekeeping, right? And that, for the most part, is agreeable. It is agreeable to want things for everybody to get their share. You know what I mean? To everybody get a piece of the pie, if you will. There's just a caveat to that. There's just one problem to that. It is there's some things that specific groups need way more than other groups. Let's say Group A, as a unit, like as a group, performing very, very poorly. And it's not just because of their own work ethic and stuff like that. There's things that kind of happen that place them in a position, right? Picture a Group B coming to the picture, right? And they're overperforming. They're making money. Their communities are thriving. They're getting good education. Like, they're essentially doing as good as any other group in this plot of land in America, right? So now picture a Group C, right? Group C is so good that they acknowledge that they don't need any help. So they exclude themselves out of affirmative action. They exclude themselves out of anything that says the word minorities or color folk, whatever, non-whites, whatever, right? All of that stuff. They exclude themselves out of government assistance. Everybody else, Group A and Group B, right, and any other group that I didn't mention, are getting these government handouts, are getting this help. But the thing is, Group A needs the help more than any other group. Group B is doing just fine. They don't need this. They don't need these handouts and stuff like that. However, they are getting the handouts anyway. So instead of focusing on the group that needs the help more than anybody, the help is being spread out amongst all communities, no matter how bad or how good those groups of people are kind of setting in, right? Basically, what I'm explaining to you is how equity works. So, but what Dr. Claud Anderson is saying is Group A, which would be blacks, if you couldn't tell already, Group A is in such a borderline desolate state that we not only need the help that's allowed it to all other groups that are non-white, that classify as a minority. Not only do we need that, we also need what's arguably owed to us, stripped from our forefathers, contributed towards our lack of generational wealth, which also contributed to us being stuck in these ghettos and stuck in the desolate state that we're currently set in, which lends to the title of this video, Blocked Opportunities. So let's go further and see what else he has to say. And it's like I said, man, we can't pretend we're colorblind when there's just so much happening directly to us. You know, we can acknowledge what's happening to everybody else, which is good, which is what we should be doing, which we shouldn't forget, right? We need to be empathetic. But at the same time, everybody need to be empathetic towards our issues also.
Any black that they could not control, they would wipe them out.
Yeah, crazy thing about Dr. King, man, when he was delivering messages that benefited everybody, right? He was given a pedestal, given a Nobel Peace Prize and stuff like that. And then he started talking about reparations, talking about the benefits of foreigners, like what they were given upon entering legally in America. You know, they were awarded good interest rates. They were given like money too, right? They were like grants and stuff like that. Just things to kind of help them get started in America. And blacks just didn't get any of that. When he started bringing stuff like that to light, that's when the alarm started going off and people said like he's not being controllable right now. So that's why they eliminated him. So this is kind of ironic.
And in the white country saying, we'll give you a sack of groceries if you turn in your weapons and eliminate any opportunities for people to be killed or to kill other people using the weapons.
It's like a multi-stage attack with what's been happening to black folk, man. This is like the pipeline of acquiring money. If your community is flourishing for the most part, there will be access to jobs in your community. If there's no jobs, people will turn to government assistance. And when the government assistance gets cut off, people are going to turn to a life of crime. In understanding that without jobs and without government assistance, folks are going to turn to are going to resort to a life of crime. That's where the other attack comes from. You follow? So like, who knows where we got the guns? For however we got the guns, folks got their guns. By us turning on each other using guns and stuff like that and violence, that's when people start looking for solutions. Because they believe the solution is giving these people resources so they won't have to resort to crime and violence, right? They're trying to, instead of the government assistance, they return to other people's assistance. What ends up happening, right, is these groups are formed by community members and maybe even the government to extract our defense from ourselves, right, from black folk, in replace of a one-time resource grab. Guns are definitely can be problematic, right? They can be problematic, but they can also be solution makers. Because like no matter how long I stream this stuff, no matter how many people listen to me, no matter how many people share and like whatever, right? No matter how big I get, no matter how big this message gets, there's always going to be people that don't care about other people, you know, and they're only focused on themselves, or maybe their problems are bigger than the problems of other people. You know what I mean? Some people could even be justified. You just never know. But the fact of the matter is, with large communities being stripped of their self-defense, it leaves you wide open. When you set up this quote unquote multi-stage attack where communities are given guns and stuff like that. I'm sorry, not just communities, but poverty-stricken communities that are essentially thriving off where people reside there, that primarily resort to a life of crime to get by, to acquire resources, right? It was essentially justify disarming communities of people that need the self-defense. It's a multi-stage attack to extract self-defense resources, problematic areas, you know. Whereas these problematic areas, had they been getting the proper or the right solutions, which would be economic solutions, things actually turn around for the better for these communities in other ways than just taking the self-defense away from them.
Called using the 14th Amendment, the Second Amendment of the Constitution to control them by threats that they know that whites are prepared that in case of a race war, the black folk are totally unarmed. And
All right, so he oh, so he just called it out. Yeah, he just called it out. He just flat out said it. Like, in the event of a race war, black folks will be caught with their pants down. Black businesses are too expensive. Yes, yes, yes. Black businesses are definitely too expensive, but geez. It's like the same thing I said with everything with dealing with black folk. Being black is going to be a sacrifice. It's not even just like dealing with the economy, not just dealing with the people themselves, but like literally just being born black. There's going to be some things you're going to have to deal with that other communities of people don't have to deal with. And again, it's all of it is part of the sacrifice.
there's no tangible goal that's been spelled out, where you got millions of people marching, and you say, marching for what?
Oh,
there's no answer.
Dang. Oh, that would hurt. Oh man, the marches for no reason, the picketing, the complaining, and all of the social media took us to another level, man. We putting black screens over our profile pictures. We adding filters to our pictures and all this stuff. That's nice that you shared that you shared a filter on your Facebook photo to show that you're in solidarity with whatever struggle anybody is going through. But man, are you donating resources? Are you providing solutions? Are you having a conversation with people that are not in affiliation with what you stand for? All of these things, all of these marches, all of these positive, goal-oriented, solution-finding strategies need to be at the forefront. Like, whatever you do in solidarity with whatever you stand for needs to have an end result of bettering the situation for whatever you're trying to shed light on. You know what I mean? This stuff has to have an impact. You know, it has to really, really do something. The parades and the marches and like all of this pep talks and stuff like that, tech talks, what have you. All of this stuff is just talking about the problem. It's no better than just complaining. But they're not really. It's like they may even pitch out some solutions. You know. But are the solutions even remotely rooted in reality? When I say rooted in reality, like, is it taking into account for people that don't think what you think? You know, if he has a solution to this, if he has an alternative, I would love to hear it. But in my opinion, the best solutions is to raise the awareness and provide a realistic solution and express that solution to the people that you're trying to gain the attention of. But just changing your background filters and doing all this other weird stuff, it's ultimately not leading to anything. People been marching and holding these parades and all that stuff for decades, but nothing's changing.
You cannot, in theory and practice, get equality and equal opportunity in a race-based society. The whole point of racism, of being in a race is a contest. It's when people engaging in a competitive activity, whether it's a horse race, a bicycle race, an automobile race. People are competing, and the whole point in racism is not to create equality. It's the primary point of racism is to create inequality. Ooh. That's why you go to the horse race, the Kentucky Derby, you line all the horses up together and say, now, when the gun goes off, you horses start running and run around the tracks. When you get to the end, we want to identify the one who comes in first place, or comes in show or place, win, show or place. Now, nobody wants to expect all those horses to come in at the same time. Right. That would be foolish. That defeats the purpose of having a race. It's for everybody to start out equal and come in equal. Can't happen. But unfortunately, our people look for equality and look and say, well,
racism. It's a little race. No matter what you thought racism was growing up, in economics, this is what racism is. Racism is a literal race. Whoever makes it first wins. You know, whoever makes it first, and I don't mean win as far as you're gonna get some trophy and you're gonna wave at all the crowd or whatever. No, it literally means you hold the power. You hold the power. You hold the resources. In economics, the ones that hold the most resources will live the longest. So theoretically, let's say the world is going to end in 1,000 years, right? Who's going to have the most wealth, the most power, the most economic standing when that 1,000 years is up? Like, who's going to have the rocket ships that can house as many people as possible? Whatever solutions we can find to escape the end of the world in 1,000 years, those who have the power will be saved first. And if we live our lives, if we just keep striving for this idea, for this fantasy of equality, we're going to just be the ones left in the dust, because the minorities especially, but also black folks included, we love this idea of equality. The fact of the matter is, the people that are holding the power, they're not interested. They loathe the idea of sharing their wealth with everybody. And it's not to say white people in general, obviously. I'm literally saying the elites. You know what I'm doing? Because the elites are freaking different. The elites are, we do need to separate the elites from like the vast majority of whites and others in America. But yeah, the top percent, they're gonna be saved first. Who's gonna be after that? Their kinship is gonna come after that. Who's after that? Friends. You know what I mean? And then the ship is full, and that's it. Then they're gone. Everybody else after that 1,000 years is up, cut. It's a wrap. But that's group economics. That's group economics in the science fiction way.
They said, well, Dr. Anderson, that we believe in socialism. Why would you want to be practicing socialism in a capitalist society?
Socialism is inevitable. I believe socialism will eventually happen. However, I don't believe it's going to happen the way that socialists or leftists believe it's going to happen, by talking about it. I believe a lot of these YouTubers jump on this whole socialism bandwagon to appease to a specific crowds, to look good. But in all actuality, they are being the most capitalistic MFers on the face of the planet. And the understanding that socialism is eventually going to happen, there's no point in crying about enacting socialism now, because it's literally not going to happen by just simply talking about it. It's literally not going to come by way of pushing laws and all that stuff. If socialism is gonna come, it's gonna come naturally, and it's gonna come in a time where where human beings as a whole are gonna have to adapt to the new economic climate. Like, the economic climate under capitalism has to depreciate so bad that we'll have to turn to another solution. To be honest, it might end up being communism. To be honest, it could easily go. It can go either way. Communism, socialism, Marxism. Who knows, right? With Dr. Claud Anderson saying that why should we practice, while we practicing socialism in a capitalistic economy? I mean, like, that's just obvious. Like, I don't know why people. It just leads to the grift. If we're dealing with a capitalistic economic structure, play the game by those rules. It's as simple as that. Literally, everybody that preaches socialism are doing exactly that, whether you want to admit it or not. I remember a guy that literally just said he's a leftist socialist type person, but he's literally charging people $5,000 for a debate. Capitalism at its peak. He play the game as it's supposed to be played, right? And that's get bread.
Everything we need to know is in those Powernomics books. You can get those books by going to the website. Go to powernomics.com and get the Power Pack.
Yeah. Yeah, bro. Dr. Claud Anderson, man, it's like he's an extreme version of Dr. King right before he got assassinated. It's a blessing that this man lived as long as he has. It's a true and it is no short of a miracle that he's still standing right now, because they got rid of King, man. They got rid of Malcolm X. They got rid of a lot of brothers, but Dr. Anderson, man, thank you, Lord, for keeping this man with us, because this is an extremely important message.